S'il vous plaît, don't you wait all through the late night. All through the late night. All through the late night. All through the late.
What's up, guys, gang? It's your girl Nini back with another video. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, thank you for coming back and welcome back. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel. So welcome back to the series Cooking with Nini, where I try recipes that I found on social media and restaurants and even in my own home, and I try to make them myself, and we see how that goes. So all of these recipes are vegan/vegetarian friendly, budget friendly, and time wise they're amazing. Cause we're busy. We don't have time to be in the kitchen all day making something to eat for probably 1 or 2 days. So like I said, all of these are time friendly because there will be many more episodes and many more banger recipes. So today's recipe is Green Goddess black bean tacos, and the recipes that I found and I pulled from, I have improvised on a lot of them to make them vegan and vegetarian friendly, especially in this recipe. And honestly, I really know that a lot of people are picky about certain things. So if I try something or I have something in this recipe that you guys don't like, you can replace it with something, or you can just leave it out completely as long as it's not a major aspect of this dish. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you tried it out in the comments, because I want to see how it goes for you guys. And stay tuned if you want to see how it goes for me. So make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel, and let's get cooking. A pan to saute your beans in, depending on serving size, big or small pan. You're going to need a chopping board to chop up all your ingredients on, or you could use a regular plate, a pair of tongs to mix up everything in your Green Goddess salad, and also a spoon to mix up when you're sauteing your beans, and a knife, of course, to chop everything up with. Granulated garlic. You're going to need ground turmeric, seasoning salt, chili powder, and ground cumin. Minced garlic, cilantro cooking base, Green Goddess salad dressing, and extra virgin olive oil. You're going to need a small head of green cabbage, mini cucumbers, you can use regular cucumbers, 1 green bell pepper, 1 Roman tomato, and 1 small red onion. So you're also going to need 1 lime, and this is optional, but you can use 1 green jalapeno pepper. You're also going to need some cilantro, and I use frozen corn, you can use canned corn, and some avocados. You're also going to need corn tortillas, and the cheese is optional. Use the dry bag of black beans, and this is the pack that I use. I use the whole bag. You can just use canned black beans, but dry black beans are healthier. This is the cost of everything, excluding the stuff that is listed on the screen. If you do buy the canned corn and canned beans, though, it will go a couple dollars over, so that's just a heads up. Okay, so first things first, make sure everything is washed off, especially your produce that you're using in this video, and this is for everything in this video. So you're just going to cut up your onion in half at first, and then just start slicing it up. Honestly, if you don't like that many onions in your black beans, don't even use half, but this was really good. And y'all, in my first cook with Nini, I also chopped up onions, and I told you guys to not cut the eye of the onion, which is the middle part, which makes you cry. I did not listen to my own advice. So behind the camera, I was crying my eyes out. Okay, so this was a spur of the moment thing. My mom had some leftover bell pepper from her cooking in the fridge, and I just chopped it up really quickly. It wasn't even a lot. Don't worry if you do not, it won't affect the recipe. If you did not buy 2 bell peppers, you should still only need 1. And you could just use 1/4 of it. Like I said, it wasn't that much. But I just chopped that up really quickly because I love sauteed bell peppers, especially with onions and black beans, y'all. And it just gives like a whole different flavor to the black beans, y'all. So I just put that on a plate to the side until I was ready for it. So I just added that olive oil into the pan and let it get hot. Then I added in my minced garlic. And you guys saw how deep the pan was in the beginning, so that's why I added that much minced garlic. If you want to add a little bit less, you can, or if more if you like. So once it starts sizzling, make sure you add in your onions and bell peppers. I did add them in really early because I like them really soft and like to release all those good flavors. If you want them a little bit crunchier, you would add them in a little bit later. Okay, so as you guys can see in this next clip, the onions are a little bit translucent and the green bell peppers have changed to like a different shade. That is because I let them simmer for a minute. So this is where if you had canned black beans, this is where you would just open up the can and add them in. But like I said, because I had dry black beans that I pre-made, I was just using a strainer spoon and I was just spooning them in from the pot that I had cooked them in. And you see me mixing it around like as I'm adding it because I'm trying to see how much I'll need, if I need more, or if I even need to take out some if needed. You want to like give your beans like a little bit more flavor. I just added in the bean broth that I cooked the beans in. I was originally gonna add water, but I figured this has more flavor. You can use vegetable stock if you want, or you can use regular water, but if you want your beans on the drier side, you would add as much. But yeah, that just lets it stew down and cook down for a minute and really does add flavor. So now you're gonna add your cooking base. If you wanted to, you could add this in the beginning because it's called a cooking base, but I like to measure it out with the beans to see how much I'll actually need. And throughout this, you guys make sure you're stirring everything up because you are adding a lot of flavors to this, so make sure everything is stirred up really well. Okay, so I did end up adding a little bit more bean broth, as you can see. That's why it looks like a lot more. Now I'm just starting to add in my seasonings. I started off with my granulated garlic. That's usually what I start off with. Then I just added my ground turmeric. With this, you don't need as much because a little bit goes a long way. Like I said before, you guys seen how deep the pot was, so I'm just making sure everything's seasoned really good. Same thing with the chili powder. This is optional because it is spicy and adds spice to it. A little bit does go a long way, but season to your heart's content. And then I just added in my ground cumin. As you guys can see, this is a common seasoning to use, especially when you're cooking beans. So yeah, it does give it some much needed flavor. And just make sure you mix it around, especially after you add those seasonings, you guys. Okay, so I did use seasoning salt for this, but I would actually recommend using regular sea salt because it's very it's a lot simpler than this because seasoning salt has a lot of different spices and flavors in it besides just regular salt. So if you are using some type of salt, I would definitely recommend regular sea salt. And just mix it up really good one last time before just letting it simmer. Okay, you guys, so this is how it looks after I just let it simmer for about 10 minutes and I just made sure I didn't burn by just stirring it. And on the right screen that just popped up, this is the finished product. I just covered it up with the plates. You can cover with a top and just put a spoon on top of it, ready to serve. Okay, so make sure, like I said, you washed off your cutting board and knife. And from the half of the onion that I had chopped up earlier from the black beans, just use that half now. And honestly, I only ended up using 1/4 of it because my big brothers do not like onions. But yeah, I'll just dice it up depending on how chunky you want your corn pico de gallo. You will cut it up like thicker or thinner than this, but I actually like it a little chunkier. So yeah, this is how I'm dicing it up. Same thing with the tomato, make sure you wash off everything before using. And with the tomato, I did end up using the whole tomato. I just didn't cut up all of it on camera. But same thing with that. If you want it a little bit thicker, then you would cut them up, you know, bigger than this, or you leave them this size and then just dice them up. And honestly, this was the perfect size for me, but everybody's different. So yeah, if you want to cut it up smaller or bigger, you can. Yeah, I don't know what it was about this batch of cilantro, but the leaves are really, really big. I only ended up using about 1 or 2 stems, and I just removed the leaves from the stems and lined them up to prepare for chopping. And the more uniform way to do this would be to stack the leaves on top of each other and then dice them up after you cut them in half. But yeah, I was just trying to let those flavors release and all those fumes get released as I'm cutting it up. Okay, so because I used frozen corn, I just added it to a bowl with hot water and I let that sit while I was chopping everything else up, and I drained it. And now I'm just adding all the ingredients that I just chopped up previously. I didn't add all of the tomatoes because I saved some of it for the green goddess salad, but I was trying to mix it up and measure out to see if everything was evenly measured. And yeah. So after I added in my cilantro, I just let it mix it up a little bit. And then this is optional, you don't have to, but I added like a squeeze of lime juice in there. I didn't even squeeze all of it out, I just added a little bit for a little flavor. Same thing with the sea salt, you don't have to add it, but it does bring out the other flavors. It is perfect without it, you guys, so you do not need this. But it does make the flavors a little bit more bolder. And you guys, if you do use sea salt, just add a pinch. And definitely make sure you mix it up very, very well after adding your lime and sea salt. We're going to start green goddess salad. Make sure your knife chopping board is rinsed off. And you can use a strainer bowl for this. You don't have to. You could just use a regular bowl. So for the cabbage, I just cut the head in half. And then I cut that half into quarters. And I just started slicing and dicing it up. So I didn't even end up using the full quarter, you guys. I ended up using probably 3/4 of it. And I measured it out after I chopped it up. But it's okay. And yeah. Then I just started washing it off literally in the strainer bowl, and I just used the tongs and I just made sure all of the cabbage got rinsed off. Okay, so now you're going to start cutting up your bell pepper. This is the fresh one that I just got that I showed you guys in the beginning. I just cut like a piece of it off. Then I just started slicing it up. Depending on how thick and chunky you want your green goddess salad, you can dice these green bell peppers up smaller, especially because it's all going to be raw. But honestly, I liked it just like this. So now you're just going to add your green bell peppers that you just chopped up into the same bowl with your cabbage. And now we're going to start cutting up our mini cucumbers. I used about 3, and I just try to cut them up the same size of the green bell peppers. When it came down to everything else in the salad besides the cabbage, I try to make it around the same size. So that's why you see me cutting it into like stick form and just started dicing it up into cube-like shapes. Just gonna add your chopped up cucumbers along to the bowl with your chopped up cabbage and bell peppers. So I only ended up using 1 avocado, but you're just gonna cut your avocado in half, just cut it all the way around, and then you're gonna turn it because there is a pit in the middle. So just use a spoon and just scoop out the middle. I was thinking why I didn't just cut it up while it was in the peel, and that's because it would have been a lot thicker. Because I took it out, it was about the same size as everything else that I chopped up. And do not throw out the peel yet, we still need it just for a minute. And so with the side with the pit, you don't have to do the fancy knife trick where you take the pit out with the knife. You can literally just squeeze around like the avocado, not too much though, and the pit will eventually come out and you could just scoop it out. And it doesn't really mess up the avocado at all. Just kind of squeeze it a little bit, and you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now you're just gonna like get ready to chop it up. Like I said, I try to make everything the same size. And I feel like if I would have kept the avocado in the peel, it would have been a lot thicker when I cut it, and I wouldn't have gotten it, you know, that small and diced up. You're just gonna add your avocados to the bowl with everything else, and the peel that I told you guys to not throw out, you're literally just gonna take your spoon and scrape out all the excess avocado in there. It makes sure you don't waste anything, and it gives it like a guacamole type of vibe, so that was good. Now you're just gonna add in your diced tomatoes. So now you're gonna start adding in your salad dressing. Depending on how you like your salads, if you want less dressing than this, you can. If you like your salads a little bit overdressed, then you can add more as well. But honestly, this was the perfect amount. So after you add your salad dressing, just start mixing it up with your tongues, or if you don't have those, just use a fork or a really big spoon because it works the same. And y'all, make sure everything is mixed up really good, because you want everything to be having a little bit of that salad dressing on it, and you want all of the salad to be equally dressed. And you want to make sure everybody gets the same amount of everything. Okay, so make sure your pan is hot before you add in your tortillas. Then just let them sit on each side for only a couple of seconds until they get a little color. Then just take them out, and then you can just set them to the side until you're ready to assemble your tacos. Hey you guys, so I'm back about probably an hour later and I have the finished final product. This is it. I'm gonna have in the thumbnail obviously, and I'm gonna show the shot before this is probably a better view of this. But before we even try it, the experience overall, I'm gonna say this is probably gonna be one of the easiest meals I make, because so far we're only on episode 2, so let's not, you know, get it twisted. We can have easier recipes in the future. But half of this was raw. All I did was literally cut up a whole bunch of stuff and mix it together. The only thing I really had to cook was the beans, and that took probably about maybe 20 minutes. And I did use bagged beans. If you used canned beans, then the process would probably go a lot faster. But yeah, the only thing you really have to do is just chop up everything, mix it together, separate it, and then assemble it. So I do like limes on my taco. So I added some lime in the pico de gallo and with the corn pico, and I'm just gonna squirt some myself right now. Honestly, y'all, when I tell you in here, it smells like one of those street taco, like in here smell like one of those street taco places, or like those food festivals with like a whole bunch of different foods from different places. Yeah, this was so fun to make. It's so colorful, and I didn't even try it yet, and I'm already hyped about it. So yeah, this is how it's looking. Y'all saw me assemble it. Now we're gonna try it. Unfortunately, I could only fit 2. I wanted to get 3, but so y'all, it looks like it's breaking. Wait. Okay, we got it. It's picked up. This is how it's looking. We're gonna try it. First bite. I need like a napkin or something. That was good. And I've been tasting it along the way just to make sure it's to my liking. And okay, got my bev here. Make sure you don't forget the bed. But y'all, that's good. That was good. Bro, I'm in the first bite and I'm already talking about it. But yeah, this is good. It tastes like when I buy tacos. And honestly, I always make tacos. But they never taste fully like how when I buy them from an authentic place. So yeah, this is good. And I did get to add jalapeno to my corn pico because, and this served a family of 7, and I'm still having leftovers, and everybody had about like 2. So this is good. And everybody came back for seconds. So it is approved by my family, and it's approved by me because this is good. And it's falling apart, but it is literally so good. And I like to put a little bit more lime. It's coming out, but y'all, usually my family, when it comes down to adding lime to things, they don't like it. Cilantro as well. And everybody ate it. Even my baby brothers that don't like onions ate the corn pico. And that had onion, cilantro, and lime juice in it. So, listen. This is really, really good. I'm rating this 10 out of 10. Go try this because this is amazing. And honestly, this is simple. It's not like you're over a hot stove all day. Literally, the 20 minutes that I did spend by the stove, I literally just let it simmer and it did the rest of the work. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you guys try this and let me know how it goes. And I'll see you guys later. Peace, Goddess Gang.